Hey everyone! This vlog episode is just going to be a mishmash of different things because like I said before, that's how they are when we are doing a mishmash of different things. My last episode was a video, an updated version of my gray water septic system, and I made that video more or less by request of my subscribers because I get a lot of questions about that system. There's a lot of people building cabins that want to know a good way to handle the gray water, and that system works flawlessly for us. But today, here it is. I wanted to come out. I did a little trek. Wanted to check on my bush camp because I really thought I was just going to find it in a pile of rubble. And I say that because we had gotten hit with that big storm a few weeks ago, and we got a couple feet of snow, and then we got a bunch of rain following that, which made the snow really heavy. And like I showed you before, this is nothing more than a stack of firewood. It's just neatly stacked, and I got a tarp over it, and I made this little temporary lean-to thingy out here at my bush camp, and it is just the way that I left it. I thought the teepee would be all dilapidated, but it isn't. It's good to go. So anyway, I'm anxious to get back out here now. But today I just wanted to check on it. Then I'm going to get back to camp and take care of some things that need taken care of. So like I said, this episode is just going to be a mishmash of different things of our life up here on the mountain. So here we go. Finally getting around to pulling the rest of this jungle down. So today is a crappy, foggy, drizzly day, raining on and off. I decided to work in here today because remember, all the time that I've shared the greenhouse with you, I say how it's such a wonderful environment in here. And it really doesn't matter what it's doing outside. It always feels like a sunny day in here. It's brighter in here. It's just more cheery environment than outside. So I needed a little happy environment. So I'm going to work in here this morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm taking down all of the rest of the vine that was in here. And I'm going to replenish the beds. I'm going to clean the chicken coop. And I'm going to put all of that poop in these beds, because remember how it was in here last summer? I shared my experiment with you where I was trying to grow cucumbers indoors for the first time, and it was crazy. The results were way beyond my expectations. You couldn't walk through here without banging your head on cucumbers. They were hanging down like patio lanterns. They were just everywhere, and we harvested approximately 460 cucumbers last summer, and at least 360 of those, if not more, were harvested just from these beds in this small greenhouse alone. That was crazy, and it was so wonderful to have those fresh cucumbers. We ate several every single day. And we miss them. You know, we get cucumbers in the grocery store now, and they're kind of tasteless, and they're expensive. So I plan to really amp it up. Now, last summer, I did some experiments where I grew the butternut squash in a tub here, right at my feet, and I experimented with growing them upward on ropes like I do with the spaghetti squash, and that didn't work out so well. I also tried to grow some zucchini in here. The plant grew phenomenal, but it only produced maybe 4 to 6 zucchini, so it wasn't worth taking up the garden space in here. So this year I'm going to concentrate even more on the cucumbers. We gave cucumbers to our friends, and we just kept all of our friends stocked up with fresh cucumbers, and it was just wonderful. So we're going to do more of that this year. And my mission for today is to get these beds set up. So the mission for today is to pull out all the old stock and get these beds ready for the spring planting. Whatever is carried out will be carried into the coop and given to the girls. They enjoy picking through whatever I throw at them, and it doesn't take them long to come to investigate. But what they'll really like is the remnants of this Swiss chard. This'll keep them picking and grinning the remainder of the day. Now, people always ask me why I don't free-range my hens, like as if I'm missing out on something. Well, not only would that attract too many predators to the yard, but more importantly, if they free-range, I won't get all their poop. Their poop is as valuable as the eggs. It's considered gardener's gold in this camp. So that bed is ready for action now. Yeah, man. We'll get that planted up probably in April. So we'll put the little gnome over here to guard over the soil. I absolutely love my greenhouse, but I know you already know that. And since I've been sharing this experience, so many people have been building greenhouses. Yep. It's a wonderful thing to have. And all my life, I wanted a greenhouse. I would see them in that Back to Basics book, or like Mother Earth News magazine and stuff like that. Always wanted one. And you know, I'm all about fulfilling dreams and going after all of the things I've always wanted. So that's what we did here. We built this, and those of you that have followed along know how wonderful this has been. And the other winter, when we ran the greenhouse through the entire winter, and in February, Lori had the blooms in here, so many flowers, just incredible in here. It was just wonderful. Such a wonderful escape from winter. But it was a lot of work, you know, keeping that fire going down here. And sometimes on a below zero night, I would come down and stoke the stove. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. And the experiment, the results were fantastic. Learned a lot, shared all of that experience with you. When we move on to the other property, we're going to have big greenhouses because we'll be growing most of our garden indoors. I'll elaborate on that again because things are getting pretty scary in the environment now with all the mad scientists at the helm. But I ain't going to talk about that and spoil my morning. So I'm just going to keep puttering in here and get this ready for action. Yeah. Boy, there's 2 eggs already. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We'll see how the day pans out. We had 7 hens. And we would get 6 and 7 eggs a day. I tell you, it was a lot of days we had perfect score, 7 out of 7. And maybe 1 day out of 2 weeks we might get a 5-egg day. And it was great. That's more eggs than we need, so we give a lot of eggs away. We like keeping our friends stocked up with fresh eggs. Our friends would come up to the camp up the road here, and we would always give them a dozen or 2, and it was nice. We enjoy doing that. We give a lot of our produce away, and we enjoy it. But then the price of fuel went up, and the price of everything went up, and the chicken feed prices just kept going up and up and up. And then we decided, well, it's kind of foolish paying these high prices of feed just to give the eggs away. So I remember that my nephew, they had chickens, but I know he was down to 1 old hen that was a pensioner. So I gave him a call, and he come up with his family, and they brought 4 of our hens home. And, you know, they're giving them fresh eggs now. But wouldn't you know it, as soon as we give our hens away, the price of eggs skyrocketed, and it's still going up. We were out shopping 2 days ago, and it was $5.49 or $5.79 for a dozen eggs. Unbelievable, huh? So it's like, man, in a way, I wish we didn't give the hens away, but I'm also happy to help out my nephew and his family. So, but I have one hen here. My favorite hen is the Barred Rock, and she's getting picked on by the red hens. And I noticed she was bloody this morning. And if it wasn't for the high cost of eggs, there'd be red hen soup here on the wood stove. Yeah. A couple weeks ago, we were having a real cold snap. And a few times during the night, we'd hear this boom sound, like as if a big branch fell off a tree and hit the roof, or if somebody took a sledgehammer and hit the side of the camp. It would wake us up in the night and get Tildy barking, and I'd look around and I couldn't find what the hell was causing that sound. And the only thing I could think of was in the past when I had ice dams and we had really low temperatures, that ice would expand and sometimes crack and make a loud sound, like when you're out on a pond in the winter. The ice will always make like a thunderclap as it's expanding and cracking. But we didn't have that big of ice dams, and we couldn't figure it out. Well, we used the screen porch as a cold room in the winter, and we have a 6-foot tall metal cabinet, and we put food in there, you know? Well, we don't drink soda, but sometimes I like to have some of that seltzer water, you know? And we forgot them out there, and they were exploding. They froze and they exploded. So Lori discovered this, and she took them out of the cabinet and put a few in this little bucket. And one day I didn't put them outside yet, and one day, right before my eyes, one explodes and blows a hole right in the container. Fucking crazy, huh? Luckily, it wasn't soda, and it didn't just spray sugary liquid everywhere, because there's no sugar or anything in this, so it's easy cleanup. Something else. There you go, guys. Eat up. Hello, my friends. I have a favor to ask. What I'd like from you is your input on something. You see, over this past year, the entire year of 2022, everyone I know, including myself and Lori, have been suffering with allergy symptoms. We have never had allergy issues in our life. All of my friends are suffering with allergy issues. You know, it's runny nose or real stuffy nose, real stingy postnasal drip in the back of the throat, sore throat, and everyone is coughing. Okay? So I would like to know if you are dealing with the same thing. If you have allergy issues, even though you have never had an allergy in your life. Or if you had allergies in the past, is it really, really bad? Has it been this way through the entire year and not just during the high pollen season? You know? So just let me know. I'm working on a video that will take me some time to put out, but I would like to use the information that I gather on this subject in that video. So let me know if you've been plagued with the same issues, and tell me what part of the country you live in, or if you live in another country. I would really like to know. All right, folks, I'd appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Little Tildy. She says, take the roast out. We put a pork butt in here this morning at about 9 o'clock, and we left. And now at 5 p.m., it's only at about, Tildy says it's about 150 degrees. Is that right? Is that right? 150? All right, so let's see how this thing, it's been in 8 hours. There goes the steam. All right. Look at these things.
Another beauty.
Oh, it's another beauty. Look at that.
Look at all the herbs and garlic on top. I can't wait to eat.
I have a fork here. Let's see if it's like the other one was.
Look at that.
Yeah. Doesn't feel quite that. Oh yeah, like this part.
Yeah, well, that's where the fattiest
right.
part is. But that meat lifted right up out of
Oh,
yeah.
look at that.
Somebody gets the first taste.
Au jus.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Bubbling.
I know, well, it's on the stove top. All right.
Tastes wonderful.
Can't wait to eat.
Okay.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go, there's a pokey way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end, Frankie and the boss, Frankie and the boss, Frankie and the boss.